This is the podcast for lifestyle and design in Ottawa. Intimate stories from our guests, an opportunity to discover hidden gems, share and get advice, recommendations, and more. All designed to help you be the best you that you can be. Your host from OttawaDesigners.com, Sandria Blench.
Hi, you're on OttawaDesigners.com. You're with Walter Michaelchuck, who is a woodworker who has taken on this new hobby, working with all sorts of incredible products. He's redoing my mudroom, he's redoing my entryway, designing a barn sliding door. He basically can do anything with wood. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Sandria. Thanks for the intro. I wouldn't say do anything with wood, but the nice thing about running this project or running this business is I'm getting to do new things every time I take on a project, which has been a lot of fun.
How did you decide to get into woodworking?
So I'd actually been kind of thinking about doing woodworking for quite a while. So my oldest brother, who's quite a few years older than I am, was actually a professional carpenter for a living. He just retired as a general contractor / carpenter.
Oh, wow.
And so it was always something I was kind of exposed to. And, you know, the business for me is kind of a side business, as you and I have talked before. I'm full-time military. And back in 2015, I was actually sent to Canadian Forces Base Alert as the commanding officer. And for those that don't know where that is the northernmost inhabited point on Earth. It's the northern tip of Ellesmere Island. So it's a very, very isolated posting. Yeah. And I had the privilege of being the commanding officer out there. And one of the things that they had was a full carpentry shop. Because the shop is staffed with carpenters that help look after the station. And so they were running a wood hobby shop so that those of us in our downtime had, you know, something to do. And so I really latched on to the wood hobby shop. And I essentially spent 6 months trying to soak up as much information from the people that do it for a living as I possibly could.
Yeah.
And then I just kept going from there. So when I returned for Canada, I just kept the hobby going. And,
wow.
And so, you know, for me, it's very much a therapeutic thing. My day job can have its moments.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, I really enjoy taking, you know, what essentially comes off the trailer as rough wood and turning it into something that is either useful or that people like.
Absolutely. So how do you pick your projects? Do you have things that you prefer doing?
Well, I suppose everybody has things that they prefer doing, but
yeah. What are your favorites?
I like doing projects that are interesting. I've been building a lot of doors lately.
Okay.
Everybody wants doors, and
like
very
mine.
often, you know, the doors that they're looking for are either, you know, stylistically very unique, or it's for a space that you just can't go to a store and buy a door to fit.
Absolutely.
You know, it's too tall, it's too wide, it's whatever. I've had a lot of fun doing feature walls. I did a feature wall out of barn board for our own house. And I've done another one since for another client that saw a picture of it on our page. I'll be doing yours sometime this month as well.
Can't wait.
And so the feature walls are a lot of fun because you really have to work with the wood as it is.
Yeah.
You can't sand it or plane it or do any of the kind of things that you do with regular wood to kind of beat it into submission. Yeah. You have to accept barn board the way it is, which, you know, makes it a lot of fun as well.
And where do you find your wood?
I scour wood from wherever I can. There's a couple of people around the city of Ottawa that kind of run side businesses of their own as mill shops. So I get a lot of wood from, you know, the mills. I get wood from the wood store, just like, you know, everyone else does.
Yeah.
Sometimes if it's a specialty wood or if it's barn wood or something, I'll scour Kijiji or scour Facebook Marketplace and see if there's someone that happens to be selling wood in the quantities that I need. And, you know, I'll have a look at it. And if the color's right and the quality's right, because some barn wood you really can't do anything with.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll grab a trailer load of it and knowing that I'll eventually use it for something.
Absolutely. So now I wanted to touch base on this being something that actually helps you decompress and de-stress from your regular day job. That must be something extremely stressful to be in the military, obviously a high pressure situation. How do you also decompress other than woodworking? What skills have you learned along the way to kind of put that job aside and come home and be Walter?
So the other thing that I'm very much interested in is anything tech related. If you take a look around my office,
yeah, I love it.
You know, our whole home is a smart home. I build my own computers. I don't use any of the standard operating systems. I use different operating systems. I run my own home network. If you look at my email address, I run my own domain.
So you keep your mind really active.
I very much keep my mind extremely active. And so if I'm not, doing something hands-on tech or doing something hands-on woodworking, I'm usually reading something about one of those two things.
Okay, interesting. And have you picked up on any other cool websites or cool tools in order to learn this skill of keeping your mind busy?
Yes. Yeah. So one of the best things I spend money on is a subscription to Fine Woodworking.
Okay.
It's a group that's been around for 40 years, and a subscription with them. I get a monthly magazine that comes in. I have access to all the online archives, all the online videos and everything. And it's truly amazing what you can learn sometimes by watching a video. I watched a video, for example, where they were explaining how to use hand planes to finish wood. And I found that, not only did it improve my hand plane work, it also improved my machine work, because when you're running something through an electric planer or a machine planer, a lot of the same principles apply, which is something I had never thought of until I watched this series of videos. So it's a great place to pull really useful nuggets out from people that actually do this stuff for a living. They run their own schools, they run their own huge shops. They're professionals that have been doing this for a very, very long time, and they're very well regarded in the industry.
Absolutely. And how do people reach you if they do want to get a hold of you to do any projects around their homes?
So right now, my primary source of contact is my Facebook business page. It's facebook.com/WHM Woodworks.
Excellent.
We also have an Instagram account at WHM Woodworks. So those are the primary two means of getting a hold of us right now. We also have a web page in works, and hopefully we'll launch it in the near future, but it's not quite ready for prime time yet.
Amazing. So now when you're doing your woodworking projects, is it always unfinished, or do you have more painted jobs, things like that as well? Do you do the full service if it's a wall treatment, or are you doing just the installation of the wood?
So it depends on what the client wants. So some clients will say, hi, I want the whole gamut. I need it stained. I need it treated. I need it installed, everything. Some people will say, just give me the door. Don't even treat it or stain it or anything. I just want a door. I can paint it. And so, one of the things I've really learned a big lesson on is listening to what the customer wants. They don't want the full gamut. They don't want the full gamut, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
If they want the full gamut, well, then that's what you provide.
That's fantastic. So now, how are you reaching other clients? Is it also through word of mouth? And is that where has your business been affected with COVID being more online? Has that got you more business with home renovations, or have you been?
So it's hard to say. We only started the business in end of January this year.
So this is new.
So, initially just getting things launched was the big thing, right? So it's hard for me to say if COVID affected it or not.
And you're pretty booked now, because now you're...
Yes, I can say that I am quite booked. I am quite surprised by the level of interest that my work has generated, and the number of people reaching out to me for projects. I was not anticipating that level of interest, to be honest.
And now, have you considered ever doing a full switch and going completely into woodworking, or do you like having the combination of your military work and your hobby on the side?
I like having the combination. If I started doing woodworking for a living, then what do I start doing as a hobby?
Oy. Yeah, that would not be the good switch to be doing for as a hobby.
Yeah, and honestly, I also very much enjoy what I do full time. Right, I'm an aerospace engineer by trade, and
Wow.
I'm currently the project manager for Canada's next generation satellite-based search and rescue project. So it's a
Wow.
very, very cool project, and I really do love what I do. So I can't think of myself just leaving that to switch to something else full time. So
So what advice would you give a younger version of yourself moving forward, having this awesome career that you have, plus you're following your passions, you have your wife, you seem to have your life really well put together, you're dealing really well with stress, balance seems to be very good with you. Would that be advice that you give to your younger self?
yeah, if I could give advice to my younger self, it would be to achieve that balance. I've had to work very, very hard to achieve that balance. And honestly, the 20, 25, 30-year-old me was not so good at the work-life balance. I was working all the time. I did not really have much of an outlet. I hadn't really developed any hobbies. I didn't ever really thought of it. So the younger me, the advice I would give is, find a hobby and, make sure it's a hobby that you enjoy, that's really completely different to what you do for a living, that allows you to kind of unplug one side of your brain and engage the other side of the brain.
That's really smart. And now in 5 years, where do you see yourself?
Hopefully doing exactly what I'm doing right now.
Nice. That's a great answer to hear, and a rare answer to hear. That's great.
Yeah, I'm very happy with where I am at work. I'm very happy with where WHM Woodworks is now. I'm very happy with the hobby. So if I'm still doing this 5 years from now, I think I will consider myself very satisfied.
That's great. And what is your favorite type of wood to work with and why?
I really enjoy working with maple.
Okay.
So maple is a very, very hard wood. So it is sometimes challenging to work with, which is part of what makes it fun.
Okay.
But if you get it right, maple can turn out truly spectacular. You can get some really fantastic grains, especially if it's like curly maple or ambrosia maple.
Okay.
And you can stain it, you can paint it, you can just clear coat it, and it'll look beautiful no matter what you do with it. And so I find myself working with maple a lot, and I really do enjoy working with maple. I also really enjoy working with Douglas fir. Douglas fir has very dramatic effects when you stain it, and when you do certain
I like
things
that
to
one.
it,
Yeah.
that can really, make a project pop or make a room pop.
Absolutely. And what is your most favorite project, the one that you're most proud of, woodworking wise?
Woodworking wise, I think the most ambitious project I've taken on so far is the one that I just put the finishing touches on. It's a king sized bed for a customer, and the headboard and the labs and the footboard are live slabs of maple ambrosia.
Oh, wow. That's
so it's
incredible.
been a very, very challenging project, because dealing with the slabs and the thickness and the hardness of the wood have really pushed my skills and my tools to their limit.
Wow.
But the good news is I was able to make it all work. So now at least I know I can do that.
That is awesome. So now we're going to follow to the fun part of the podcast, where I'm going to just ask you some random questions and you have to answer them on the cuff. Sounds good?
Sure.
All right. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Favorite street in Ottawa and why?
Starlight Place, because that's the one we live on.
Nice. Favorite country you've visited?
That I visited? Australia.
Dogs or cats?
Cats.
And your most embarrassing moment that you can think of, and it can be absolutely anything. And we've heard really bad ones, so go ahead.
Well, I was on TV with the CBC while I was in alert, and I still get questions about that to this day.
Okay. Oh,
I was on This Hour Is 22 Minutes.
Oh yeah, and what was the embarrassing part of it?
It's amazing how many people still recognize me 5 years after the fact.
Oh yeah, that's funny. That's a good one. Perfect. So then again, can you repeat how people can reach you?
Yeah, so our primary way of reaching us is our Facebook business page. It's facebook.com/WHM Woodworks. And we also have an Instagram page at WHM Woodworks.
Excellent. And we are going to definitely share all of the stuff that you do at my house and any of the projects that we have for future clients. And I cannot wait for you to be at my house doing it here.
Well, fantastic. I'm looking forward to it, Sandria. Thanks very much.
Thank you for joining us, Walter, and have a wonderful day on OttawaDesigners.com. Thank you.